Hi, mate.
Hey,
You all right?
hey, I can see and hear you. We made it.
Yeah, we get there. I'm not used to all this
That's
technology.
awesome.
I'm not very good with it.
No, it's funny. I run a media marketing company. I don't own a cell phone, and some of these things I just don't participate in. So this is actually new to just pushing pixels and designing stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but great to meet you.
Yeah, and you, mate? Very good.
So where are you? Where are you now? Just at home?
Yeah, yeah, just sat at home. Yeah, just in the dining room at the minute.
Sweet. Good. You're looking good in the PIVX gear.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it's all nice stuff.
But I just wanted to meet you first. Say thanks for choosing PIVX and for being a sponsor
Yeah,
and for
thanks.
us sponsoring you for accepting it. So
Yeah, thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
so how's it going so far? Where are you at with? I know we had the one event that you placed, pretty decent, and
Yeah,
then there's another event coming up. But what's going on in the future? What can we
yeah.
expect
So,
from you?
London's Strongest Man, the one that just happened in January last year at that competition, I tore my quad quite badly, which put me out for 12 months. So it was the first time competing in 12 months. In that period as well, I suffered a mental breakdown too. So it was a competition to really gauge where I was mentally as well as physically. Um, Mentally was good. I left feeling very positive, whereas normally with that kind of placing, fifth place, I'd have fourth place. Sorry, I'd have left a little bit disheartened. So I left in a much better mental place. One of the things that I was very aware of when I was competing is I never really came out of second gear. I never wanted to push into that final 10% for fear of re-injuring myself and risking being out again. So I've come back. The next competition is in April, so it's about 4 weeks away, and that's for England, the Strongest Man. It's a very light event for me. The weights are quite light in that. I would hope to win that. Then the event after that, so it's a top five from the England's qualified for the UK's. So top five from England, top five from Wales, top five from Scotland, and top five from Ireland then go together to compete for a place at the Worlds. So those in the UK's, it's the top three that then get to go through to the Worlds. So again, I would hope to win, if not podium, at that event, and then it's on to the Worlds then. Which again, looking at the people who normally get there, I'm quite young for a master. There are quite a few masters in there who are like 45, 46. There are a couple who are 50. So I'm quite young, but there are some very, very good athletes in there. There are, athletes. There's one, Sojourner Sabiscus, who's been world strongman 4 times. So he's in that group as well. There's Mark Felix, who's been to the worlds multiple times, 10 times, I think. So there are some very good athletes in there, and the weights are very heavy. It is something that will push me, but I've got advantages. I'm not as old as some of them, and not as I've had a fair share of injuries, but I'm still not as war torn as a lot of them are. So it'll be good. I look to win the Englands, to win the UK's, and then definitely podium at the Worlds, and then from that I can use that as a springboard then to then get back to the Brits, which is a televised. I mean, the Worlds is televised. That'll be televised, but then I can use that as a springboard to get onto more televised events, the Brits, Europe's, and all of those kind of events then.
Right on.
So
Great. Wow. Good roadmap ahead of you.
yeah. The training's going well at the minute. Progressing nice and steadily. I've got no injuries or niggles, which is always a good thing. Um, so yeah, everything's going to plan at the minute. Touch wood.
So share a little bit about how PIVX came into your life, and what it means to be sponsored for one thing, but also kind of like your introduction to PIVX crypto, and what are you hoping for with this sponsorship with PIVX, understanding that we're a giant community, global community,
Yeah.
and all that jazz. So kind of like start from when you were introduced to it and what transpired.
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, I'm a strength and conditioning coach and personal trainer. That's my day job. So I'm always in the gym. And Boris came to me looking to lose weight and get in shape. We'd probably been working together probably about 3 or 4 months, and then he mentioned that PIVX were looking for sports people to sponsor and to help out. So I spoke to him about what I was doing and what my plan was for this year, and he said that he'd help me put a proposal forward. So we put a proposal forward. The proposal was accepted for the first 3 months. Did the first competition. Got all the merchandise and everything all up, and I'm going to be running competitions on my social media to give away T-shirts and various things. And then all the clients obviously get a top, and people who come to support me, they'll all be wearing it and things in the crowd. And so yeah, so basically have gone from there. I used to in a it seems like a former life now, but in a former life I used to trade. I didn't trade currency, but I used to trade commodities. So crypto is something that probably started as I got out of that. So I don't really know that much about it. I'm learning all the time about it, but it's really, I mean, the interactions I've had with it are really good. I mean, I've signed up to that PIVX and got a card with that, so I can now take Bitcoin and PIVX payments and things like that. So that's quite cool how that all works. So yeah, that's about as much as I know of the crypto bit. Like I say, I'm always learning. And then it just means having a sponsor on board is not only does the financial side of it, but it's nice being involved. Like PIVX seems a nice community. Like on the forum, I asked or Boris asked about ideas for videos for me to put up, and one of the people in there suggested about me doing like time lapse of me eating my meals each day. So I've done that, and that's like a really good quirky little thing. It'll come out and look really good. So it's more than just the money thing. There's a nice like family community feel to it all as well, which is a really nice aspect of it. I mean, I've been sponsored. I've had sponsors before, and I will only really work with companies that are like that. Like I worked with Jaguar. I worked with them for 12 months, and they were very good to me, very good indeed. I also worked with a couple of supplements companies over here in the UK, and again they were very they were like smallish companies, but they were very family, like a community, very family orientated, and always willing to help, not just necessarily with the financial side, but also ideas and talking. And so yeah, that's very important to me, is the community side of it as well.
Cool. So you mentioned earlier on about having that 12 months kind of break and stuff that was going on, and we talked about it a little bit in chat about just dealing with mental health, and I have personal stories about it as well, and just thought maybe you could share a little bit about what it means to come through that, and just what it means to have a community behind you as opposed to just sponsorship, and maybe how just share a little bit about the struggle of being an athlete that's been through that, and just how we can help.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things with any kind of athlete in any kind of sport, I think there's there's something missing from you inside, which is why you want to push and strive and better yourself and become the best you can be. I mean, I can more or less guarantee you that 95% of the people who are bodybuilders and strongmen will have been bullied at school. They will have had that aspect. So they like want to get to a point where they're stronger or they're bigger, and that doesn't happen anymore. So for me, I mean, I got bullied at school. I mean, my home life wasn't particularly brilliant either. So I found like an escape in the gym, and I was able to go there and get away from it all. And then one of the side effects is you get quite big, and so people tend to stop bullying you then and picking on you. And it's also it's like I say, it's a therapy, because it's one of the places where I can go to the gym and working out and training, where I can go and I can truly switch off and get away from life's problems and troubles. So when I'm unable to do that through injury or whatever, that's when things can tend to get on top of me, and that's what happened with this particular 12-month period. I wasn't able to train as intensely as normal, and so the coping mechanisms that I'd normally use weren't available to me. So I've always suffered badly with my mental health, but it came to a head. But I've got with I was again, the community at the gym. It was a bloke at the gym who'd gone through similar, and he put me in touch with a counsellor who'd helped him, and that bloke has literally saved my life. The way that he's made me think about things and changed the way that I perceive the world and the way that I look at things. One of the most important things learning to do is learning to love yourself. And then once you do that, and once you're able to do that, then everything else is a lot easier. And changing your internal world, none of us can change the external world, no matter how much we'd like to. We can't. So the only thing you can change is your internal world and the way that you perceive the external world. So if you're calmer and more centered internally, then your outside world's going to be a reflection of that. One of the good examples that he gave me was like on the road, there's lots of idiots on the road every single day, but some days they'll frustrate you a little bit more than they would on other days. So you'll be beeping your horn and flicking the V's and swearing and getting all agitated, but it's no different that day than it was yesterday. The only difference is how you are internally and how you're perceiving that and how you're dealing with that. So yeah, you've got to keep the internal world under control and keep that nice and calm and fluid. And like I say, it was the fact of the community at the gym that the lad there put me in touch with him. So that was a massive thing. And that's, like I say, the community behind the PIVX as well. And if I can reach out and I can, even if it's just help one person who's on the brink of, or who has suicidal thoughts, if I can just help that one person to realize that there are options and there are things out there, because that was one of the biggest things I noticed when I'd post on my social media, is so many people would reach out, and those people that would reach out and offer help are people that have been there themselves, and they know what it's like, and they don't want anybody else to feel like that. And that's one of the things that really turned my head, was like, right, these people have been there, they've been through it, they've come through it, and they're there helping somebody else and want to help somebody else through it. And that's what I want to be able to do. And like I say, if it's only one person that I'm able to do that for, then that's one person, less. It becomes that doesn't end up becoming a statistic. So
Yep. It's great, Luke. Appreciate you sharing that. I mean, being in the cryptoverse, the universe of cryptocurrency, you'll come across a lot of people that are struggling. It's just an up and down roller coaster, as it is in any life, whether you're an athlete or you know, mail carrier or crypto trader. But I found when I first came into introduced to PIVX and jumping into the community, it was really it's a really dark place at times, and there's a lot of people hurting and struggling, and they're expressing themselves, and you get the trolls and the FUD, and just it's and you can react to it. But I found, and this is what I love about how PIVX has kind of shaped the philosophy, is that we want to be more than about the currency, and we want to be about people changing lives, changing culture, changing economics. And so I found myself in a lot of, because I'm a community manager and I manage ambassadors and other people around the world, I spent a lot of time talking to people about how they're feeling and what they're going through. You know, sometimes talking them down, you know, and it's just, it's a scary thing to be in, but I'm very thankful that that people like yourself can be available and can be part of that connection point that is so needed in all our lives, really. But I just found in the crypto universe, man, there's a lot of people struggling. So appreciate you sharing and being a part of our community.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that my counselor said to me is when you get to the point of like suicidal thoughts, or you get to the darkest place you can go, is that you think there's no options, but there's always an option. There's always an option. And hopefully, like you say, being able to talk to somebody or talk to people, they can make you see those options, because when you're in that place, you become very insular and you become very not really wanting to, you know, you do genuinely believe that there is only one option, and there's always options, but you just need that person or people to talk to, definitely.
Nice. Great. So you've given us kind of an update on what's coming up, and you've got a full, all your clothing and merch has come through Boris, which we're really thankful for that. So we're looking forward to seeing the PIVX brand everywhere you go.
Yeah, it will,
yeah. So what's I lost you on video. What I know you got shirts and sweats and tanks and all that jazz. So it'd be great to see some of that ongoing in your videos. So yeah, I think, is there anything else you want to share? Is there something, any questions you want to have for me or community? We lost your video again. There you are.
If there's anything else that I can do in terms of like ideas for social media are always good. Like I say, that was really good. There were a couple of ideas that were banded out, but that one with the video and the time lapse of the food, that was a really good one, because that'll be quite quirky and quite nice. So really, just if anybody's got any ideas or anything that they think I can do, like for videos wise or blogs or anything like that, because I don't mind writing and different things, and like little video blogs or vlogs, then I'm open to any kind of ideas that anybody's got, definitely.
Cool. Maybe we'll convince you to add some PIVX logo ink to your the tattoos.
Yeah.
We do a competition. Let's raise your next year's funds and put a shield somewhere.
Yeah, it's quite. I mean, I like purple. Purple's a good color. I like purple, and like I say, I've got the merchandise. I'm giving it out to clients and things, and they like the purple, and they like the logo as well, the little P. So it's quite good. There are quite a few in the gym wearing them at the minute. So.
Oh, nice. Well, if you can capture some of them as well, that's another idea. Yeah. If you have your camera or your phone, just do a quick interview of them in the PIVX gear, and once you get more educated with like the wallets and stuff, we can even maybe do a transaction where we could send you PIV live from like here, and then, or you could do it, between looks at the gym. You're like, let me just send you 5 PIV, and we can you can video that, and those are fun things. People love to see crypto in real life and in real real life, and it's because it's very confusing and kind of out there for some. So if we can show them transactions, that would be awesome. Maybe you can convince the gym or one of your protein providers, somebody, a merchant in your area, to accept PIVX. We can work with them, promote their company. Lots of cool things we can do.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have a word with the gym owner, and I'll have a word with a couple of other people and see what I can do with that. Yeah, definitely. And I'll get them to contact you.
Yeah, when people, if they accept PIVX or it's amazing when we put that into the chat, into Discord, just the tips that start flying in. Like you just post an address and say, hey, local merchant, coffee shop is accepting PIVX. Let's say thanks, and they just get flooded with tips, right?
Yeah.
So they get their first batch of crypto. It's really cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Well, I won't keep longer. I think this has been great. I hope I can maybe piece this together. I think a lot of stuff you shared has been awesome. Yeah, let's have some fun.
Cool.
You have your own personal PIVX wallet?
Yeah, Boris is helping me set it up. Yeah. I'm sure I've got one set up. Yeah.
Okay, and that's on your laptop or your phone?
On my phone, that is. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if we can get that receive address, we'll get some tips going as well for you, and especially if we do some contests, there might be some cool things where we could, if they send a certain amount, you'll do something, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good. Cool.
Good. Thanks, Luke. Really good to meet you and see you in person. And we'll sign off for now. And if you maybe give us a stand-up pose with the PIVX to end this.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you in a bit.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yep.